Hi, I'm Dodo60 and this video was actually a request on my ranch style family home video from the lovely Sarajazz, who requested a modern style family home. So that is what this video is. It's a family home. It's the first proper family home. It does have 2 children's bedrooms plus an adult double room. And for me, when you say modern, I was like, oh, what should I do modern-wise? For me, modern equals funky angles and lots of glass. So that's what we've gone for. We've got that glass kind of effect. What's it called? Fence? Yeah, fence on that upper balcony. We don't have a proper roof. We just have that top thing with more kind of slats. I don't think we changed that. And then we've got this white or bluey white paint on most of the outside. We do also have a little bit of some wood and some stone. I think I'm going to put it in a minute. And right now I just wanted to put something there to make that look a little bit less fake. So we go for a big old stone wall on that side of the house. And this little jut out extension, we go for this lovely wood effect. Yeah, so there's a couple of different textures, but mostly it is going to be that bluey white plaster. I was originally planning to put the front door in this jutty out section, but then I was just thinking, I was like, it's just a bit of an odd place to have the front door, so I decided to put it on the left by that external stone wall instead, and I turned that jutty out bit into this kitchen with the most beautiful windows. Yeah, absolutely stunning. You've got this incredible view from the kitchen. I'm really pleased with the kitchen in this. It's actually not my favourite kitchen that I've done in most of my builds. I do end up saying, oh, I love the kitchen, it's one of my favourite bits of the house. The kitchen is actually not my favourite bit of this house. I do love the jutty out diagonal section, but I just think because of how I wanted them to be able to look out of these gorgeous great big windows, and that sort of meant that it's ended up, it's a bit of an odd configuration because of that. But I really love the windows. I'm still really happy with how that all works. And when you've got a modern house, it's got to be these floating stairs, hasn't it? Yeah, it can't be anything else. They just scream modern to me. As do the massive windows, which I just love. It's all, yeah, I'm not sure it necessarily suits Newcrest, but, well, I thought it suited them more than any of the other towns that we have available. So I'm just trying to get the layout of the upper floor. I know I wanted the 2 bedrooms, and obviously we need a bathroom, and because it's got kids we need 2 bathrooms realistically. And I didn't really want there to be only 1 bathroom that was fully enclosed, no windows. So I decided to make the parents' room ensuite and have a second main bathroom downstairs. Again, not ideal. I would have preferred to have just 1 main bathroom on the top floor, but I liked the layout otherwise of this. You can see I've gone for like little painted doors. I decided to go for, I designed the rooms for probably like a teenage girl and a child boy, but obviously you can recolour, or your Sims might like, maybe you end up with a teenage girl who likes the child boy room, whichever you for that. Judgment free zone, they're your Sims, it's your house if you choose to download it, and I will be leaving the link to the Sims 4 gallery download down below in the comment section. You can also find it by searching Dodo60 on the Sims 4 gallery, or hashtag Dodo60 I think, because my Sims 4 gallery name is Lottie Strawberry, not Dodo60. So it's also on there, which is really cool. So now I'm just, yeah, putting some like nice tiles and stuff in the kitchen. Just want it to look a little bit different. I do miss a tile, but don't worry, I do spot it in a minute and I'll change that back. And I go for that kind of stone effect. You can't really see it because of where the windows are, but it is still a kitchen. I did want to have something a bit more interesting in there. And I go for that really cool, it came with the Parenthood, that kind of birch tree effect wallpaper, which I really like, and I haven't really had a chance to use yet. So I thought, this is the one, this is the house, I can finally get an excuse to use that. beautiful birch effect wallpaper that I really, really like. So I did the same upstairs just to keep that consistency. So I really like that. I'm really glad I got the excuse to use it. And then I've pretty much gone for just plain white in the rest of the house as the wallpapers, apart from the children's bedrooms. But I just went very, very plain on the colour scheme most of the rooms, and did all the interesting features in the furnishing. So I really, really love that kind of gradient effect wallpaper that I put on the outside wall of the parents' room. I absolutely love it. I think it's stunning, and I hardly ever get to use it because it is quite colourful, and I'm not always brave enough to get that much colour in my walls. I do kind of prefer going for the simpler style walls and then getting the colours and the interest going in the furnishings normally. But I absolutely love that wallpaper, the blue and the greeny one. I think it's stunning. So then you'll see later I did actually then struggle to find furnishings that actually matched that wallpaper. Struggled quite a lot, but it was worth it. I didn't change the wallpaper, I stuck with it, and I made the furnishings change themselves to match the wallpaper. I also really struggled finding an outdoor light that was suitable. I think I stuck with that one in the end, the little modern one. I think it's from the Spa Day pack, which is one of my favourite packs. And then I got a nice kind of chandelier one, a bit interesting. And then I think I just go for very, very basic, just those little dotty lights the rest of the house. Apart from the children's bedrooms, I do decide to go a bit more interesting in the children's bedrooms. I decided to make the teenager quite rebellious. I do go for sort of purples and blacks and kind of gothic. Definitely going through a goth phase right now, the teenager. And yet it has a rainbow painted door. I think that's to prove just they're a very happy person. They're not a bad kid, just going through a bit of a phase right now. You can also see I'm really struggling with the front door tile or what I want to do there. Right, so now I'm going to try and start doing the kitchen, and this is where I realised that I don't want to cover up those beautiful windows. I don't want to put anything against the windows. Right, so now I'm going to try and start doing the kitchen, and this is where I realised that I don't want to cover up those beautiful windows. I don't want to put anything against the windows, and that means that I've got to create an island, realistically then. So I have to have everything like on this island, and because it's on the diagonal, it doesn't really want to work, because Sims doesn't really like diagonals. I actually haven't tested that stove works. I should probably do that. If it doesn't work, you might just have to wiggle it around a little bit. So you can see what I mean, like this is it's not an ideal situation. Maybe I should have done something else. Maybe I should have made that the sitting room. But I just love the idea of being able to sit at that breakfast bar in the morning, having your cereal, and just looking out of those massive, great big windows. They're just absolutely stunning. And then I was thinking maybe I could, so I had to put some stools in. I do stick with blue and white, I think, quite a lot in this. I maybe could have gone for a different colour, but I love blue. Blue and white is gorgeous. So then I was thinking about trying to put something maybe against those windows, like a table or something, or like a bar maybe. Yeah, you can see I'm just trying to fit in a bar, but it just doesn't look right. It's just that space. I just didn't want anything against those windows. Those windows are gorgeous. They don't need anything. So I just moved the entire kitchen in a bit, including that little hood and the bin and everything. So there is a bin in the kitchen. There is also an outside bin. I did spot then that I'd missed a tile, and I did just correct that quickly. And then curtains. Trying to get curtains that match, that look like they're suitable and they fit and they aren't stupid looking. It was really, really hard, because I obviously didn't want to cover up like all of this beautiful window space, because again, what's the point in having these stunning windows? But this is a very, very public part of the house. The street is right there, so I did definitely need some curtains. So I went for just those ones in the corner that looked like you could just pull them all the way around if you wanted the complete privacy, but they've clearly left them just half open, just over half open. And then I decided to put because I couldn't fit the dining table in the little breakfast nook area, I decided to put it nearish the front door. And I did go for that glass one originally, but then I couldn't find any seats that I liked the look of, so I decided to go for a white wood effect with these little kind of space agey looking suit, like little what are they called, like bum huggers? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what they're called, but that's what I'm going to call them. A little kind of blue bum huggers. So the whole house is pretty much themed with blue and white. I don't go for a lot of colour in the furnishings or in the design, but then there's quite a lot of little knickknacks and stuff, which where I get a bit more colour going. It's not super colourful, this house. It is modern style. I didn't want it to be too cluttered, but I did want it. At this point, I think I was looking at this house and thinking, I'm really pleased with how the colours are working, how pretty it is. I'm really enjoying how this house is right now. But it doesn't look like there's a child and a teenager who live in here. It doesn't look like a family home yet. Don't worry, I will add in some clutter items to make it look a bit more homey, because right now it is definitely, like, it looks like a single person lives here, like one of those, someone who's very, very into their interior design and they're very pleased with their house. That's all they should be, because it is gorgeous, but it doesn't feel homey yet to me. It still feels empty, which isn't very nice. So I haven't actually tested all the items in the bathroom, but I think they should work. Should be fine. So again, so this bathroom was one of the places I did want to try and get. This is meant to be the family bathroom, right? This is where, when your kids are toddlers, this is because there's no bath upstairs, this is where you come and give your kids baths and stuff. So it's meant to feel a little bit homey, but no, I couldn't really add that much in here because it is, again, quite a small space. I'm not sure why I made it quite so small. It probably could have been a bit bigger. So I'm just trying to get some sort of kiddie style decorations in there. I did want a little bit more in this bathroom. I think I do give up though. I'm not sure I end up with anything. Yeah, I do give up because I wanted to add a little bit more detail, make it look a bit more used and like cluttered, but I just couldn't do it really without taking up lots of space. And this is when I'm like, right, this is ridiculous. I have got no kiddie based clutter. That you could not tell that 2 children live here. I'm going to whack a massive toy kit in there. So it is tidy. It's tucked under the stairs. It's not in anyone's way, but I like that child's toolbox that came with the Parenthood pack recently is definitely a big old kids live here. This is not like a single young couple's home. This is a family home. There are kids. They're just tidied away neatly at the end of every day. Yeah, because, you know, that's my understanding of parenthood, is that it's incredibly easy to tidy up kids' stuff all day, every day. Watch as the comment section explodes with parents being like, you have no idea. Children don't tidy neatly. So again, I'm trying to create the seating area. I just love the idea of the family all gathering together on like a Friday, Saturday night, watching a film. Teenagers sulking, oh, you guys are so lame. But obviously loving it anyway because it's family time. And I put the sofas in, and I was like, it looks too perfect. No family seating area that is used regularly looks that perfectly aligned. So I did just free rotate those sofas a little bit just to make them a bit more realistic looking, because people are going to be like screaming and running all over the place and jumping up and down and kicking this rug all over the place. So yeah, the rug also had to be rotated, so it's a little bit off center. I'm really pleased with the seating area, actually. I think it looks really cute, and it looks kind of much more lived in than other parts of the house, like the kitchen, really. I didn't really end up getting that many knickknacks and stuff in the kitchen like I would have liked, but you can see it's really small. I didn't really want to mess with it. So the teenagers just dumped their bag there, because that's what teenagers do, right? They just dump stuff everywhere. Oh my god, why are you nagging at me to put my stuff away? And again, that little magazine and remote control holder thing, I think it came with Parenthood again, which I just love. Cookie jar that has just been left open from one late night movie night. Gaming console, because everyone loves games, and I really like the family gaming. You can increase your gaming skill, and also you can like bond socially, and you play with like lots of friends and stuff. So I thought that looked really, really cute, and I did want to get a computer in here somewhere. I mean, the teenager does also end up with a computer up in her room, but yeah, we needed a computer downstairs as well for mum and dad to research holidays and stuff on, I guess. Because this house, I think, does end up costing over 100,000 simoleons, so it's not cheap. You definitely, yeah, maybe it's for a couple who decide to have children later in life and could afford a bit more. So I did put that cereal box in the kitchen, which I really like. It's the only really clutter item in this kitchen. Someone just hasn't quite got around to tidying it up from breakfast. I also wanted to separate the study nook a bit more from the main house, because currently you walk in through the front door and it's just sort of, you can just see this like study area right there, and that's just a bit weird. And there's no bookcase, and I wanted a bookcase as well, so I decided to use a bookcase as a bit of a wall. I think this is again one that came with the Parenthood pack. I really like a lot of the items from Parenthood. I like, there's some really well. So I decided to use a bookcase as a bit of a wall. I think this is again one that came with the Parenthood pack. I really like a lot of the items from Parenthood. I like, there's some really cute items that are just, I think quite a lot of the stuff I use in this house is from the Parenthood pack, which is good because it is, you know, it's a family home. It's going to have kids in it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then I thought a mirror because, you know, mum or dad's sitting there typing at their computer or whatever, the kids are messing around behind them. Mum or dad needs to be able to see what's going on, keep an eye on the kids and make sure they're not making too much of a mess. So a nice mirror there so mum and dad can type at their computer and also keep an eye on what's happening behind them. And then that lovely bookcase. I just love the colours on it. It just looks really cute and like there's lots of stuff going on. But again, I was like, this is looking too clean and tidy. This doesn't look like a real family with kids. Like, even if the parents are a bit OCD and tidy up everything all the time, I really like that kids clutter item, but I just wasn't sure if it blocked the bookshelf. So I did just go for that little pile of stuff, which I think is really cute, and I don't think it blocks the bookshelf, but again, I'm not certain. You might have to move that. Could probably go check it. I'll maybe check it before I upload it. I think it does work. It should all work. So I was really pleased with the downstairs in the end. It has lots of little clutter items. It has a couple of little clutter items just to make it feel lived in, feel like a family home, feel like it's not 100% perfect. But it's not. It is still very clean, very modern. Lots of glass, which for me equals modern. And then this hallway I struggled with a little bit because I didn't want to put too much stuff in there. It's not actually a huge hallway. It's only small, but I wanted it to look nice. Yeah, I don't want it to look nice because it's quite a large hallway. So I think what do I end up putting here? I think I end up just putting like a plant or something on this upper landing. I thought about putting a chair, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, no one's just going to sit at the top of the stairs in a chair, are they? That's just a bit weird. Like, no, you'll sit downstairs in the sitting room where you can hang out with people. And now onto the parents' room, and I start trying to find anything to match this beautiful wall. I do love that wall. Absolutely stunning, but just nothing really matches it. I did struggle quite a lot. I think I ended up just going with like white curtains because, you know, white goes with everything, as does black, but black's a bit more gothic-y, I guess. So yeah, you can see how much I'm struggling with trying to match it. I can't remember if I changed that bed. I might change that bed after I finish furnishing the room. I think it wasn't quite right. Nothing was quite right. Nothing quite matched that beautiful wall. That is an issue I have with Sims, is they have lots of items that I just absolutely love, and then just nothing quite matches it the way you want it to. Yeah, it's a small frustration. Little things. So I was considering putting that wardrobe as kind of a room separator, because that little outside balcony does end up being a sort of a chill out zone. I thought, you know, we might want to get a bit of separation in the room in front, between the bed and the main area, but in the end it just wasn't really worth it. So I got a mirror, a little poof on by there to sit in. I didn't end up doing much splitting because the only door to that little balcony is through mum and dad's room. So, you know, if people are out on the balcony, mum and dad know about it. They're not going to be surprised. Yeah. So I did put a little ottoman there, just sort of somewhere. I don't know, I love the idea of just sitting on that little ottoman to get dressed, like put your shoes and socks on in the morning and stuff before you head downstairs. And then this big old fluffy rug that's just so beautiful when scaled up. It's absolutely tiny. I completely ignored this rug for a very long time because it's so small. And then I found out about the scaling up tool, and then suddenly it's one of my favourite rugs. I use it all the time because it looks so fluffy and soft and comfortable, and I just love it. And yeah, there you go, back to the bed, trying to make it match, and it just doesn't Doesn't look quite right, I don't like it. Nature of the game. I just want to get some sort of light on that wall because it does just look a bit dark and bare. So there's quite a lot of seating, I guess, in the parents' room. They've got the little ottoman at the end of the bed. They've got that little couch there. They've got the ottoman, the poof next to the wardrobe. Oh well. Yeah, you can't have too much seating, can you? And I wanted a mirror by the bed as well because they have that full-length mirror in the corner, but you know, you just get out of bed and you're just like, okay, before I start my day, just how are we looking? Is it a good hair day? Is it a bad hair day? Just a little mirror just there, just to so I can answer that question as early as possible. And again, I think that's from the movie night pack, that little side table. I absolutely love the movie night pack stuff. Not so much for the movie night items, like the massive TVs and stuff, which I don't really use, but just all the furniture is kind of so like boho chic. It's so sort of kind of hippie-esque. I just really love it. It looks kind of casual but just really, really pretty at the same time. Yeah, I really love it. So I don't know, the problem with going with white walls and also the statement wall is that they look really bare if you don't put anything on them. So I was just trying to find little items to make the walls more interesting. Yeah, I just didn't want all that plain white space. And a little ensuite. I kind of struggled decorating this a bit because of the angles of it. Yeah, as you can see, struggling a little bit. Do get the shower, sink, toilet, little basket of items, a little rug to soak up, what they called a bath towel, to soak up all the water from the shower and stuff. A hand towel, a little proper towel. And then we're on to the teenagers' room. I really wanted to use these big old the hanging curtains that I was looking at before, which I do end up using in the child's room, but not in the teenagers. I wanted to make it a little bit more hippie, but then I was like, nah, we're just going to go full on kind of gothic phase. Gonna do gothic, let's do gothic. I thought about doing carpet in the child and teenagers' rooms, but I don't know, I just kind of figured in this sort of house, it's so modern, I imagine it's been built relatively recently. Mum and Dad are probably going to be like, no, you can't, we're not going to let you like start recarpeting your rooms every time you change your mind. But rugs, I thought they're suitable. Like, you can always get a rug to make your floor look like what you want it. So I did decide to leave it with the floorboards, same as the rest of the house in here, but give them rugs to try and make them a bit more interesting. So I was trying to go for very kind, like, yeah, very, very purpley black, definite like rebellion goth mode. There's gonna end up being tons and tons of movie posters on the wall in this room. I guess I got distracted doing something here because there's a big old gap. We're just pausing and looking at it. And here we go again. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, and so the teenager, I thought she should probably have her own desk. I mean, I did kind of think this, I designed this room with a teenage daughter in mind, but meh. You could teenage son, you could keep the colours, you could change the colours completely and make this a child's room, or just have a really gothic-y child, I guess. Lots of purples, lots of blacks, there's little candles there, a guitar to play with, and yeah, definitely their own computer. I think most teenagers definitely want their own computer. I'm not sure if they all have it, but a little bit of privacy. And I really, really wanted to get loads and loads of posters on the wall in here. I wanted it to be full of personalised items. But again, because you obviously can't, I think what this house also really needs, that's similar to the ranch family home that I did my last video, it's really similar. I think it needs, in the main spaces, some like family portraits and stuff of the family that lives here. But obviously I can't do that now because no one lives in my version, and also if you want to move your own Sims in, then those would be completely random Sims just sitting on your wall. So I think if you just do decide to download and play this house, please do take some pictures, or get your Sims to take some pictures of themselves and put them up on the walls. Like, this house really needs some personal sim items that are unique to the family that lives there. It really needs it. And again, I don't want to go too cluttered in the teenager's room, but I felt like she needed her own stereo so she can listen to music, she can talk to her friends, moan about how unfair her parents are. Yeah, definitely required. I'm really pleased with the teenager's room. I think it looks really cute. So I struggled a little bit more with the child's room, just trying to find a colour scheme I wanted, because I chose that wallpaper with the little dinosaurs on it that I really like, but none of the beds really matched that stupid wallpaper. And I didn't want it to look too, because I had sort of designed the teenager's room for a girl, I didn't want the child's room to look too girly. I wanted it to be more of a boy's room. I mean, again, it's a child's room, it's relatively gender neutral, and you could easily redesign it for however you wanted it to be. Oh, and I do finally get to use those curtains that I really wanted to use. I think they're just so pretty. And they are, I think ironically I end up covering up the bottom bits, which is the bit I really wanted. I love those little animals. It's really cute. So I wanted to get, again, some clutter items, because the main house is really, really tidy. There's not many toys or anything in it. I wanted him to have somewhere to put his toys. So his room does end up being probably the messiest room in the house. Yeah, because it's the only place he can really put his stuff. Poor little kid. I imagine Mummy and Daddy are really strict that toys have to be in the toy box under the stairs at the end of every day. No exceptions. Must be tidy at all times. And again, I just want to get a couple little skill items for him. I was a bit of an overachiever with the kids on Sims, teenagers and kids. I want them to have all their skills 100% of the time. Yeah. I just wanted to, yeah, again, there weren't any kind of family organisation items the rest of the house. I imagine the sort of parents who live in this house are very organised. They keep their calendars on their phones. I imagine they don't have, like, in the ranch style family home, we had that big old chalkboard in the kitchen and everything where they could all keep track of what everyone was up to. This family, I think they don't need that sort of thing. Although maybe I could have put a clock downstairs somewhere. That actually might have been a good shout. But I think this little child, I think he likes to keep track a bit more. Yeah. Just gonna get some like little decorative items on it, make it look a bit more unique to him. But again, you could completely change, well, everything. Joy of Sims, right? You could completely change everything about this entire house to make it unique to your Sims that live there. So if this child that's in here ends up being like a real, like, geeky type who just was really into his science or her science, then you could fill this room with like school project stuff and little like spacey wall prints and all that sort of thing. Now you could do so much more than I've done with it, because again I'm trying to make it a bit generic, and I thought maybe a little bit creative because of those beautiful windows. I like to think an artist lives somewhere in this house. I didn't really leave any space to put any skill building items anywhere. I mean, I know we have like the gaming and the computers for writing and stuff, but I did think about putting a little artist's easel up here, but I didn't really leave anywhere in the house as a skill building room. So, but the garden, as you can see, is absolutely huge, and as usual I'm not really into landscaping, so there's plenty of room I think to build like an artist studio or like a baker's shed or a little gardening nook. There's so much room in this garden to create a space for skill building if that's what you want to do. And I think, again, I did think about doing it when I was building the house, but I sort of decided not to, on the basis that it would have to be so unique to your Sims, and I can't guess at that. The really fun thing about doing family homes is that they're so unique for each family, and there's so much fun because there's so many different characters who could be living in there, and you can, when I was designing it I was definitely imagining like quite creative parents, so maybe like an author and an artist or something like that, like definitely at least one person who works from home most days and just is a bit of a neat freak and just goes around tidying up everything every day, which is how this house stays so beautiful. So that's definitely the sort of family I was imagining, with this really rebellious teenage daughter who's just, you know, they struggled with a lot and they have a lot of conversations between the parents, and then this really cute little son who's just an absolute angel. but it's sort of a little bit overlooked because his sister's being so annoying the whole time. Yeah, so I definitely built up this image in my head of a family who'd live here. Maybe I will actually create them and go live and play through them a bit. That would be really good fun. But because this is a generic house build and I want anyone who likes the look of it to be able to download it and play it on the gallery, I didn't want to do too many unique items for that. I wanted to make it a little bit more generic, but for sure this house has so much potential to be completely made unique for your Sims and what they want. So this little outside area, you can see I was thinking about putting a wall across it, and that was mostly feeding back to my not wanting to do any landscaping, and if I make the area smaller then I have less work to do. But I decided actually to block off the space with a swimming pool instead. I thought a bit of a wraparound swimming pool, it kind of goes with the very modern architecture, and I thought I'd block it in to make it, well, mostly to mean the amount of landscaping I had to do was less. I promise at one point I will do a properly landscaped house. I'm going to lie and pretend that the reason I did this was so that you had more garden space to create whatever like little outpost or shed or whatever you wanted for your Sims hobbies. But really I just didn't want to, do it. So I did create a nice kind of patio seating area out there with a barbecue and stuff. So I can imagine like the kids splashing around in the pool whilst mum and dad like grill up some burgers and stuff, and then they've got their little chairs there so they can sit and keep an eye on the kids, make sure they're fine. But really they're probably going to be fine. Or the parents could be upstairs on their little private balcony watching the kids hang around downstairs. There's also so many options. So I did do a little bit of landscaping around the front. I added in some little plants by the front door, and then I just thought I didn't like the idea of anyone who's walking by on the street to be able to watch them in the swimming pool and on their little patio area there. So I decided to put some growth, some little plants and undergrowth there, just to block off that a little bit. And then I thought a nice climbing wall here, where is in full view of the kitchen, so the parents can be sitting at the breakfast bar having a chat, but also keep an eye on the kids playing outside, make sure they're not hurting themselves. And again, because there are these massive windows on the ground floor, it to, and it is so exposed to the main road. I just wanted to put a little bit of protection in here, just to, yeah, make sure that you can't just stare straight into them. Where I put those bushes, by the way, they are actually sort of poking through the wall. So you might be able to see them in some of the screenshots. I do move them before I upload it onto the Sims 4 gallery. But they're definitely poking through the wall in the first few screenshots, which we are now into. So the first couple are just going to go around the house. I'm really pleased with the sort of the overall design of this house. I think it does look really modern. I love the wraparound swimming pool. I think it just perfectly matches the house completely. I love those massive windows. I love that front door with that little planty area right there. I love those floating stairs. I love so many of the items from the Parenthood pack, especially that bookcase. It just looks absolutely perfect. And the view through to the sitting room. I think you can see the little clutter items. They do just make it look a little bit more lived. I love those massive windows. I love that front door with that little planty area right there. I love those floating stairs. I love so many of the items from the Parenthood pack, especially that bookcase. It just looks absolutely perfect. And the view through to the sitting room. I think you can see the little clutter items. They do just make it look a little bit more lived in, a little bit more homey. Yeah, like you can imagine that this is a house that kids do live in, and it's not just the parents. Again, the kitchen, I am really pleased with it, but it is a bit of an odd layout, and I'm not 100% certain that everything works. Yeah, and I might have to go test that actually, but hopefully it'll work. And I love the seating area, especially with the teenagers' backpacks just been dumped on the floor, and that little study nook that's sort of tucked away, kind of hidden in the corner, but still, because it's all open plan, very much a part of the whole room and the whole feel of it. And then that's the view out of the windows. You can see the little patio area and the swimming pool, which we're now looking at. So you can see the parents could be sat there on the balcony, grilling up some burgers, keeping an eye on all the kids messing in the pool. That under the stairs view with the little toy bucket just shoved there. The main bathroom downstairs I found it kind of hard, but again because it's so small, to get a decent view of it. The parents' room, which I'm mostly pleased with, other than that bed, which I couldn't make match. Yeah, nothing would match. I love that statement wall, the green and the blue. I know I've mentioned it so many times, but it just really brightens up this room, I think. Then the upstairs seating area, there's a yoga mat. I imagine like mum or dad comes out and does yoga every morning. And the little ensuite, which is very, very small. Doesn't really need to be that big though, it's just for mum and dad. And then the kids' doors. I just love those doors. I hardly ever use them, but I just love them. I think they're brilliant. And then the teenagers' room, full of posters and angst and working through teenage issues that no one else understands. But I'm really pleased with this again. I think it looks really kind of cute. You can see the guitar in the mirror there. And you can see the guitar in the main screenshot. And I love those big, big windows just looking over Newcrest. And then the child's room, so cute. You can see the tree branches are kind of sticking through. I'm pretty sure I moved that tree. Yeah, I think I did move that tree, but if not, you can just swivel it around a bit. Again, I kind of struggled a little bit, and now we're into the floor plans. So there's the ground floor and the second floor, which you can see the 2 bedrooms, the parents' room, and the layers. It looks kind of like little steps down. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for the request.